welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. Well, it's going to be Easter this weekend, can you believe it? So I thought that I would show you how to make this cute little Easter basket. It's very easy and it's going to be a quick tutorial. I did one of these years ago. I saw a lady, a demonstrator in the UK. I forget her name, but it's Poodles, I think it goes for. So you can look for her on YouTube if you like. She has some great projects and boxes. I've made quite a few of these in the past. I think some little grandchildren are going to benefit from these this Easter holiday. So love the bunny, that's from the Easter Bunny stamp set. So let's get started. The supplies we're going to need is the Easter Bunny stamp set and punch. We're going to need some alcohol markers to do our bunny. I've got some Stampin' Write markers too because we're going to do the little carrot. I'm going to show you how to do that. Because we're using alcohol markers, we're going to need StazOn ink and some ribbon. And that's about it. And of course the DSP. So let's get started. It's a great little project to use up some of that pattern paper that you're not using, or if you've got some older stuff and you're wondering what to do with it, this is a great little project. So I'm using the Designer Daydream set. So this is just for hostesses while the annual catalogue is out. I bought this at the beginning of the annual catalogue and you can see I'm going through it. But it's only available for hostesses. So if you'd like to get your hands on this beautiful paper, just let me know and I can tell you how we can go ahead and do that. So I've already cut some of this. I'm using this bright stripy one. Now these, as long as your measurements, now all the measurements will be on my blog page and you can actually print out the project or the instructions there if you go on over to my blog site, winningcreations.thesearemystamps.com. And you can print any of my cards out there that I've got instructions on, and you can have the card projects there. So this is, I think I did, where's my trusty measurer? So I think I did, no, I did 15 by 15, so I'm doing it in centimetres. So as long as your measurement is divisible by 3, you can make any size project. So I'm just doing 15 by 15. So what we want to do is score, that's the other side, score at 5 and 10, 5 centimetres. And we're going to use our scoring tool there, and at 10 centimetres. Okay, and we're going to do that on both sides, 5 and 10. Okay, easy peasy. Now the next step might be a little bit tricky for some and it might be a little bit hard to see on this. So I'm going to take a ruler and a scoring tool from my Simply Scored, if I can get it out. And what we're going to do on all 4 corners, we're going to get the corner bit there where it meets with the first join up to the outer corner, and we're just going to score. Okay, and we're going to do that on all 4 corners. It's a bit hard to see on this paper. I've got a diagram on my instructions for you, so that will show you, that will give you better instructions on where to score. But it's simply the 4 corners and scoring out. Simple, simples, as they say. And then we're just going to go ahead and we're going to burnish all our folds. We've got the family coming over on Easter Sunday. We have an Easter Bunny hunt every Sunday, Easter Sunday, so I'm really looking forward to that. So we've burnished all our folds. Now, except for these ones. So these corner ones, we're simply going to fold them in. So we're getting that effect. Okay, so just fold them in and they should just fold in really, really easily if you've scored it properly. And then just give them a pinch, and you can burnish them down as well. So that's the little treat basket just about finished. So all we have to do now is decorate. So I'm going to bring in my bunny stamp set. Okay, so I'm just going to get some basic white, and I'm going to mount my little bunny on an acrylic block. Now, because we're going to be using Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol markers, we need to use our Stays On ink. So that's a permanent ink. That means that the ink won't bleed when you use your alcohol markers. Okay, so I'll just stamp Easter Bunny here. There we go. Now don't forget, when you're using your Stays On ink, you need to clean it with your Stays On cleaner. And I will do that now while I think about it, because I'm likely just to go and put it in my Stampin' Spritzer. And so what I do is I just rub that with the cleaner. I get a baby wipe and I wipe off all that excess. I think I've said this to you before, but it doesn't hurt to reiterate this, because it's very important to try and keep your stamps clean and to look after them, because if you look after your stamps really well, they will last a lot longer. They will last forever. Forever. Hopefully. Hopefully. Okay, so I've wiped that off with the baby wipe, and now I'm just going to put this in my cleaner, which I've spritzed and then dried. Okay, Easter Bunny, you can sit over here. So I've got Smoky Slate Stampin' Blends. So these come in a combo pack of one light one and one dark one. So the secret to alcohol blending is starting with your lighter colour. Now they do come with two ends, a thick end and a thinner end. So I'm just taking the thick end, and what I'm going to do is just colour the whole bunny. I'm not going to do his ear because I'm going to come back and do that in ivory. So you don't have to worry about your strokes. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've coloured that all in the light grey. Now, you can see where I've got some of my brush strokes, but you will see when it's finished, you won't see any of that. So what I'm going to do now is, with my darker colour, I'm going to go in and put a bit of dark grey where the shading would be, like where shadows would be. So a little bit here on his back, on his belly, on his feet. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Now comes the blending. Back with your lighter shade and just blend those colours together. Okay, just work your way around and work those colours in together. And you can see that black ink, because we use the Stays On, it's not bleeding. If we were to use our normal Memento black, it would bleed. So just be aware. Okay, so that's still the light, and I'm just going around his little face. And blending that dark and into the light. You can always go in and add a bit more dark if you want. I think that's quite enough. Right, so hopefully you can see that a little bit better there. Okay, So I'm just going to use the ivory pen and I'm just going to do his little ear. There we go. Now what I've done on the tail, this is no longer available, but sometimes Stampin' Up! Bring it out at Christmas time. It's Snowfall Accents Puff Paint, which is awesome for a little fluffy tail. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on, and you just need a couple of little drops. And then when you add heat to that, it puffs up. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. As you see that start to puff up, that's enough heat. That's all you need. Don't know whether you can see that. Okay, so I'll just wait till that just cools off a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to punch some holes back onto our little treat bag. I'm just going to get my Crop-A-Dile, and on the corners, just where the where you've scored, in about 1 centimetre, just punch a hole just over the score line, and there's no exact measurement. It doesn't matter. I usually go in about 1 centimetre, but there's no exact measurement because it's not going to affect the box at all. So just over, as long as it's over the crease, you're safe. Because what we're going to do is we're going to thread ribbon around that in a little while. And there we go. Okay, so my little bunny should be dry now, and then I'm going to take a large hole punch, which I thought I left out, but I didn't. So I'm just going to punch a hole out as well, because our bunny's going to go onto that. And then I'm going to punch Mr. Bunny out. He's so cute. So just line him up, and doesn't have to be perfect. So you notice here on the back, the alcohol ink, it goes right through the cardstock. So just be aware if you're using your alcohol markers. He's a bit crooked, isn't he? Anyway, I'm not going to worry. I am going to show you how to do the little carrot though. Now with the carrot, I'm going to use the Stampin' Write markers. So here's the little carrot that I did, and that, if you can see that, and that's in the little Easter Bunny set as well. There we go, little carrot. So I can put the Easter Bunny back. So what I do with this, now these aren't alcohol. These are exactly the same as the inks that you get in your ink pads and your refills. They just come in pen form, and they are refillable. So just, you know, you can, like, these will last for a very long time. You can refill them and refill them time after time. So I'm taking the pumpkin pie one and the thick end. Again, they come in two ends, a thin and a thick one. And I'm just going to run that over the orange bit of the carrot, like so. Hopefully you can see that. I am going to put it on the white because it might show up better. Okay. And then I'm taking my old olive for the top. Okay. Now there's no die for this one, so you will have to fussy cut that. Okay. Now if you've waited a little while, always give it the old huff and puff. This shouldn't be too bad though. There we go. There's our carrot. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. Okay, so I've got my bunny cut out. I've got my carrot cut out. So I'm just going to mount the bunny and the carrot onto the circle, and I will probably just put a bit of glue around his head, just in there, because I don't want to glue him all the way. I want him off the circle. It's just, the circle's just giving him a little bit of stability, and I need that to punch a hole in to add my ribbon. So, and there's the carrot dangling in front of the bunny's face. He'll love that carrot. Okay, it's coming together nicely. So then we're just going to cut a hole, punch a hole in here, anywhere. So that's going to be where we thread our ribbon through. And the ribbon I'm using, and I love this ribbon, this is the Organzy Glitter Ribbon. Still available, and I believe it's still going to be available in the next catalogue. It's beautiful, very popular ribbon. So I'm just going to cut, look, probably about, what's that, 30 centimetres. I know I cut a bit extra. I always cut a bit extra. 30 centimetres would be fine. So I'm going to put it through there first, and then I'm going to take my little box. And what we're going to do now, there's no right or wrong method to this. It's just in one hole, in another hole. Oh, I might do it opposite. You don't have to. This is what I did the first time, so, and I know it worked. But apparently you can do it anyway, and it all just fits together. Okay, so then we're going to do this one. Excuse my Band-Aid finger. I cut it while I was cooking the other night, and it's been quite sore. Okay, through the last hole. So you saw what I did there. I just simply might take that ribbon off and then gather that there we go. It just all pulls together. Okay, just give it a little wiggle. Okay, you can see it all coming together. Hold it as tight as you can, but just be careful you don't tear your paper. So, and then there we go. So now we're going to just fill it up with the yummy Easter eggs. We'll just pop them in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that'll be enough. Okay. You could probably fit more Easter eggs in there if you wanted to. So now I'm going to put the little tag on. Now if you didn't want to do the bunny, you could just put a Happy Easter tag on there if you wanted to. Okay, and then I just simply tied it in a bow. I'm going to have enough ribbon, probably a little bit longer than 30 centimetres because I've got more on one end than the other. And there we have it. That's our little Easter bunny treat box. How easy is that? Super cool, super cool. So this is the one I made earlier was on the Hues of Happiness paper, which is beautiful floral paper. So I hope you give that a go, and I hope there's some lovely recipients of these at Easter time. All the instructions and supplies are over on my blog page, and you, as I said, you can print out the instructions from there as well. So happy Easter everyone. So until next week, stay safe, keep on stamping, bye.